shop and the paint on these walls is just shy of 25 years old. Now I'm zoomed out here, so it's looking a lot bigger, but it's really 24 by 24 feet. So after all this time, I'm figuring it's time for a little sprucing up. It's a big job. I don't need to do it because it's functional the way it is. The shop started out, as an idealized place, and then I reworked it a bit and made it more practical and less pretty. And it's done a lot of stuff. I remodeled a couple of houses. I built a ton of furniture, a boat in here. I've outfitted a cargo trailer as a camper, just to name a few things that I've done. And I need to do a few things, particularly with this half of the shop. The other half, I'm not sure if I'll do it or do it right away. But this half, I want to make some big changes. And in order to do that, I have to remove pretty much everything because I want to do some painting and then rebuild things. On this half of the shop are a lot of the smaller power tools, belt sanders and bandsaw and things. The other half of the shop has the planer and the jointer and the router and the miter saw. And that's kind of functioning the way it is. So this has to come apart and then be put back together. I'm going to do a few short videos having to do with that. And for anybody who wants to watch a bunch of demolition and rebuilding of a shop, here it is. I need to remove the manifold that connects 3 of my shop tools, 2 sanders and the bandsaw, to a vacuum cleaner. Okay, so this thing is just a slot screwed to the wall. The plywood goes in there that the tube is hooked up to, and I just put 2 nails through and it holds it, but it's removable. Now this thing I'm not forward to moving. It's a great filing cabinet in that it's tall, it's got a lot of drawers. You can open them, all of them full, and it won't tip over. And the reason it won't tip over is because it's not a Walmart filing cabinet, it's a real one for an office. And down in here, I don't know what's in there. It could be cement, it could be bricks, but it feels more like lead. The thing weighs hundreds of pounds, and there are some tools in it. So, moving it a little bit is a chore. And I'm going to move it out enough over here to be able to get over here. I'm not dragging it a long distance. Now, these cupboards up here were built around a long bench that was built into the wall with lots of drawers. The drawers opened hard. They were before, I was around then, but they weren't built like me. I was much younger, long ago. So I decided I needed the floor space for the power tools, so I took that bench out. All the drawers, and there were a lot of them, just ended up being, each one of them, a big junk drawer. These cabinets are shaped this way and in this spot because they were built over that bench. But now I have something else in mind, and that's another wall of cleats over here for tools. Now, I've taken out all the screws I can see, but when I built this, it was built with a frame against the wall, and then I built the cabinets out, framing them, and then facing them afterwards. So they weren't built separately and then put up. So obviously behind some of these panels, there are more screws. And as a result, I might have to take a crowbar to it. And you can tell it was done long ago because I used Phillips screws. I would never bother with that now. Big boys. Big one and another. So, this is how you make doors when you've never made them before. You cut a piece of plywood, the right size, and then you face it, the edges, with about a 1/4 inch strip of wood, and you kind of glue them and finish nail them on, and you've got a door. I really don't make them this way anymore, but it's one way to make some and make them quick, particularly if you don't know how to do it. This is a long time ago. I've got this area partially taken apart. This is where I did all my fishing lures. If you look back at some of my videos, there's dozens of them. I'm not making them so much anymore, but and I'm not going to stop. I just make one once in a while. I'm going to make a standalone setup with my airbrush and a few of the materials, so that I can pull it out and put it on the workbench and just work on it and then put it back. I need the room. I need the room. So this is all coming down. Well, what a mess. I have this wall pretty much apart, and I have all the stuff over here pretty much apart, and this is where everything ended up, on this side of the room. What a mess. But I'll get it back together. Tomorrow, I'm going to pick up some joint compound and some paint, and maybe a couple of other things. I got big plans for this. I'm getting rid of this old fluorescent light as it really doesn't work well anymore, and I'll be putting up one of my LED ones like in the rest of the shop. I'm using the same semi-gloss wall paint for the woodwork. Well, all the doorways are done. This will be the color of the walls too. The windows are done also. I'm going to have to do a second coat. Don't have to, but I will because it's streaked a little bit. It's very light gray. I probably would have liked it lighter. You can see the walls next to this were a light tan, which I kind of like, but this gray will be fine. The floor will have a porch and deck that will also be a light gray. It'll be about this shade that's on there now. Just a note, this is bare porch and deck from Home Depot. It's been on here for over 20 years and shows very little wear, and I have scraped stuff across this floor. And then when all the stuff goes on the walls and up against the walls and everything, I consider walls to be a canvas, and then everything that you put on them becomes the paint from the palette. I kind of see it that way in the house too. I never paint walls different colors, and dark colors or whatever. It's always a very light color, and then the rest of the house, the furniture, stuff, paintings and other things become the color. So I have to let this dry now, and maybe I can come out a little later today and put another coat of spackling on. If not, I'll do it tomorrow. Well, prepping an area is really, most of it. So, I got a little sanding done. What I'm going to do now is I am going to go and touch up those spots. Most of it came out pretty clean. I won't have a whole lot of touch up. I'll leave the pneumatic sander connected because I'm sure I'll find a few more spots. And then I'm going to paint the woodwork again, and then do some cleaning on the floor here as far as cleaning up the vacuuming. And then I've got some glue spots and stuff that I need to chip off because I will be painting the floor after I get the walls done. So the next time you see me, I should be painting. Floor almost done. It's a little bit darker. It'll dry a little bit lighter, but I have to be able to get out this door, and I have this cabinet, which I had no place for, and of course my welder, which I have no place for because I've just two packed on the other side of the room. So I will paint around it. The welder goes there. I will paint around the cabinet because it goes against this wall. Then I'll move them and then paint the spot they were at. Well, even though I have the air conditioner going, I'm still pretty hot. Sweat's dripping in my eyes here. I'm gonna finish it up and call it a day. And then the painting in this room will be like 98% done. I'll just have some of that touching up to do and maybe a few spots here and there. It's drying and it's looking pretty darn good. As far as I'm concerned, pretty nice. And then that mess over there will need to start to be sorted a little bit. The next video you see should be me putting the manifold on for the dust collector against a different wall, and then starting to populate this room so I can get to the other one.